Hey guys, Brett from AMain Hobbies here, and we have a Tekno EB48 2.1. It's their 1/8 scale electric buggy that we've built and completed, and we want to tell you about it. So this buggy was actually built by Matt, who's one of our purchase managers, and he's a veteran to the hobby and has built tons and tons of kits. Now Matt says the build went together pretty easily. It was a positive experience, but there were some issues. Now, one of the issues Matt encountered is with these spring preload collars. They have an O-ring inside, and when you thread them onto the shock body, he said that they were really tight. So it's really good to make sure that those O-rings are seated well and that you lubricate them a little bit. You can put some shock oil on them, but something on there when you thread them will help you out a lot. Now, the last thing that came up was with mounting the steering servo in there. He said it's a pretty dang tight fit. So what Matt did to modify and to make this a lot easier for himself is he's got a servo with a detachable servo lead. And you can see on the side of the servo case here, he's cut the port flush with the aluminum case to give him a little bit extra clearance. With that detachable servo lead, he also cut off the rubber boot protecting the connector, which kind of frees up some space also. And then the last thing he did was also he just trimmed the steering servo post a little bit so there was a little bit more room in the center to get that wire to poke out. Other than that, he said that he really liked the manual. It lists different option parts, it lists different setup theory, and a lot of maintenance info included too. He also remarked that this kit comes with a metal steering horn, which he really liked, and then on the suspension arms where the hinge pin goes through, there's little bushings that take the brunt of the force on that hinge pin, and it's a pretty cool design. Oh, and the vehicle includes aluminum C-hubs in the kit. Now for the setup in this car, Matt's just following the stock setup, which includes 7,000 diff fluid in the front and center, and then the 5,000 for the rear. In the shocks, it's 650 CST in the front and 550 in the rear. These are the stock fluids included with the car. He also mentions there's lots of extra tuning pills included for the front and rear hinge pin geometry, and the shocks include bladder and emulsion style setups, so you can pick however you want to do it. Now for the electronics, Matt's opted for a Castle Creations Mamba X ESC, and then he's put a 1515 2200 kV motor. It's an ESC and motor combo that you can buy together. For the servo, it's a ProTech 170 TBL with that detachable lead, which really helps out when you install the servo. And then, like mentioned, he cut the boot off of that wire. The horn on the servo is the metal horn included with the kit. For the battery, it's the ProTech 4S 6400 milliamp shorty. This 4S battery is made specifically for these 8-scale electric applications, and it fits perfectly into this battery box. The last thing added to finish the car off are the ProMotion MIG tires, and then those are mounted up on yellow ProMotion wheels. Now for any upgrades and accessories, Matt has put a few things on here. Now one of them is going to be the 1-Up heatsink bullet plug grips, which just give you some more material to grab these bullet plugs when you remove them from the battery because they get kind of tight. Matt also added a bunch of the Nmb Bearing Co. upgrades for this car, including the Nmb Bearing Kit, and there are a few different bearing kits from J&T available for this vehicle in different ranges. The Nmb Bearing provides Nmb bearings for all the bearing locations in the kit. Matt also added the J&T turnbuckles for the EB48. He's got the 17mm wheel nuts in black. He also has the leading edge wing with the decals on there. And lastly, he added the J&T servo lock screws to the steering servo. So, pretty nice car. The layout inside this chassis is really nice. It's compact. It looks clean. Matt's done a good job with his wires, but overall, it's pretty dang impressive.